it's a movie. Red carpet, the lights going through me. Anytime I arrive, it's the new me. Real diamonds on my neck, there's groupies. Flashing lights.
I've seen a lot of crazy new car announcements recently. New models, wild redesigns, hybrids, EVs, you name it. And along with all of that comes the internet's favorite thing, drama. People losing their minds, swearing car companies are ruined, saying it's over for certain brands. But here's the thing. Every time this happens, every time, those same controversial cars end up being the ones everybody loves later. So today, I want to talk about 3 of the most controversial cars of 2025 that everybody's hating on now, but that I guarantee will grow on all of us later. Now, the name alone already sounds insane, right? It feels like Ferrari is saying, this is the future. Forget the past, this is what's next. But here's where things got spicy. Ferrari ditched decades, literally decades of tradition. No screaming V8s. No symphonic V12s. Instead, they gave us a V6. Yeah, you heard that right, a V6. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not just any V6. This thing is a twin turbocharged monster, pushing out figures that can embarrass cars twice its size. But the second Ferrari announced it, the internet exploded. Ferrari purists were crying into their espresso cups, swearing that Enzo himself was rolling in his grave. And I get it. Ferrari has built its entire legacy on emotion. Their V12s are church organs, their V8s are opera singers, and suddenly, in 2025, they're telling us, here's a 6-cylinder. For many, it felt like betrayal. But let's rewind and put this into perspective. This isn't the first time Ferrari has betrayed tradition. Remember the Ferrari 308 GTB in the 70s? People said Ferrari downsized and went too soft. Then, the Ferrari F355 in the 90s. That car was criticized for being too modern, and now it's considered one of the greatest Ferraris ever made. Fast forward to just a few years ago, the Ferrari 296 GTB, first Ferrari road car with a V6 hybrid setup. People laughed, said it would never feel like a real Ferrari. And now, that thing is one of the most celebrated modern Ferraris, with resale values through the roof and owners swearing it's one of the best driving Ferraris in decades. So when Ferrari pulled the same move with the F80, it was déjà vu. Everyone hated it at first. But here's the truth about Ferrari. They never release a car that isn't special. And the F80? Oh, it's special. It takes that 3.0-liter twin-turbo V6, revs it to a screaming 9,000 revolutions per minute, and pairs it with hybrid wizardry that makes it feel like a spaceship on wheels. Zero hesitation, zero lag. Just instant, neck-snapping power. And the design? Man, Ferrari really went for it. The F80 looks like it belongs on a Monaco rooftop, sipping champagne, but also like it could tear up Monza tomorrow morning. Aggressive vents, razor-sharp lines, but still that Italian flow that makes it instantly recognizable as a Ferrari. It's not trying to be futuristic for the sake of it, it's futuristic with purpose. And here's the wild part. Mark my words, give it a year. Give it one single year. Once owners start posting tunnel runs, high RPM blasts, and track day footage, the entire internet will flip. Hate will turn into hype, just like it did with the 296. Ferrari has played this game before. History always repeats itself. Because at the end of the day, Ferrari isn't selling engines, they're selling emotion. And the F80 delivers that in a brand new language. It's Ferrari saying, yeah, we're evolving. Either come with us or get left behind. So whether you love it or hate it right now, here's the reality. The Ferrari F80 is already a conversation starter of 2025. And 10 years from now, people will look back and say, man, remember when Ferrari dropped a V6 and everyone lost their minds? Yeah, and then they'll smile, because by then, it'll be an icon. And if you're enjoying this video, a sub to the channel would be awesome. When BMW revealed the all-new G90 M5, the internet didn't just react, it erupted. My feed turned into a group therapy session, and the M5 was the villain. Memes were everywhere. BMW ruined the M badge. It's the worst M5 ever. It weighs more than my depression. People weren't just disappointed. They were personally offended. And honestly, I get it. This thing is massive. At over 2.4 tons, the G90 M5 weighs more than some SUVs. Let that sink in for a second. The car that used to be the wolf in sheep's clothing is now more like a heavyweight boxer who decided to bulk up on donuts. And to add insult to injury, it's a hybrid. Yeah, an M car with a plug. For a lot of purists, that was the final straw. But here's the thing. Doesn't this sound familiar? Let's rewind the clock. Remember the G80 M3 launch? Everyone roasted it. It's ugly. Too heavy. The grills look like buck teeth. People swore they'd never buy one. Fast forward a few years. Now you can't walk down a street in LA, London, or Tokyo without seeing one pulling off like it owns the block. The same people who mocked it are suddenly like, well, actually it grew on me. And that's where I think the G90 M5 story is heading. Because under all the memes, BMW has built a monster. This thing makes over 700 horsepower from its hybrid V8 setup. 700 horsepower. That's supercar territory. And unlike most supercars, this thing comes with xDrive all-wheel drive, which means it'll launch like a rocket ship in any weather. Snow, rain, doesn't matter. This thing is putting power down. Now here's where it gets funny. Car people online were crying about the weight, but let's be real. When did M cars stop being fast because of a few extra kilos? The F10 M5 wasn't exactly light, and yet it was a legend. The E60 with the screaming V10? That wasn't light either. The truth is, BMW knows how to make heavy cars feel alive. And once the tuning scene gets their greasy hands on this hybrid system, forget about it. People are going to be building 900 horsepower monsters that eat supercars for breakfast. Let's also not forget, this isn't the first time BMW's been ahead of its time. The E65 7 Series with the iDrive? Everyone mocked it. Now every car has a screen with a rotary dial. The G80 grille? Same story. Hate first, love later. BMW has this weird habit of throwing something out there, getting roasted. Then 5 years later, everyone admits they were right. Now, is the G90 M5 perfect? No. It's massive, it's complicated, it's probably going to cost as much as a down payment on a house. But here's the irony. Give it time, and the same people calling it the worst M5 ever are going to be begging for one once the aftermarket, the tuning scene, and real-world performance numbers start showing up. Because at the end of the day, this is still an M5. The badge that defined the four-door supercar. The car that made Porsche owners nervous at traffic lights. The car that let you drop your kids at school at 8 and set lap records at 9. BMW didn't ruin the M badge. They just evolved it for a future where hybrids aren't optional, they're survival. So yeah, go ahead and keep roasting the G90 M5 while you can. Call it fat, call it ugly, call it the end of the M division, but don't be surprised when, a few years from now, you see one fly past you, hybrid system screaming, and you quietly think to yourself, damn, that's actually kind of sick. Because if there's one thing history has taught us, it's this. You won't bet against an M5. Finally, we have something nobody saw coming. Jaguar's rebranding with the Type 00. Now I know what you're thinking. Jaguar? The same Jaguar that went from the E-Type, arguably the most beautiful car ever made, to, let's just say, electric SUVs that your uncle might lease? Yeah, that Jaguar. For years, Jaguar has been stuck in this weird identity crisis. They had the legends, the XK120, the E-Type, the XJ220, that made them a household name. Cars that were basically rolling movie stars. Then, somewhere along the way, it felt like they traded their martini glass for a cup of instant coffee. The spark was gone. People weren't saying, I need a Jag anymore. They were saying, oh yeah, my neighbor drives one of those, what's it called again? But 2025? Bruh, different story. Jaguar looked in the mirror, saw the wrinkles, and said, we need Botox for the brand. That Botox comes in the form of the Jaguar Type 00, a car that's less of a reboot and more of a straight-up cinematic rebrand. Like when a washed-up actor suddenly gets cast as a superhero and becomes the hottest thing in Hollywood again. That's Jaguar right now. The Type 00 is sleek, futuristic, and honestly, a little bit un-Jaguar in the best way possible. It's as if Jaguar finally stopped trying to copy the Germans and went, wait, why don't we just be cool again? It has this radical design language, sharp, aggressive lines, but still dripping with that British flair. And under the hood, forget the old days of luxury first, speed later. This thing is unapologetically performance-focused. It's Jaguar reminding the world, we were here before, and we're here again. Now, don't get it twisted. Jaguar didn't just wake up and decide to throw out a supercar. This was years of awkward electric experiments, failed marketing campaigns, and a brand that was basically running on nostalgia fumes. But with the Type 00, it's like they pressed Control plus Alt plus Delete on their whole identity and rebooted as a proper 2025 brand. And let's be honest, if you told someone in 2018 that Jaguar would come back swinging in 2025 with a car called the Type 00, they'd probably laugh and say, yeah, and Blockbuster's opening a streaming service. But here we are. And the internet? Bro, the memes alone write themselves. James Bond references everywhere. People calling it the license to thrill. Jaguar even leaned into it, dropping marketing teasers that feel more like spy movie trailers than car ads. Genius move. So is the Type 00 the car that saves Jaguar? Well, maybe not by itself, but it's the car that tells the world Jaguar is done being background noise. They're not just building something you'd see parked outside a golf club. They're building something that makes Ferrari and Lamborghini fans raise an eyebrow and go, wait, Jag did that? Jaguar didn't just rebrand. They pulled a full-on resurrection arc. The Type 00 isn't just a car. It's Jaguar's way of kicking the door back open, shouting, "Oi, we're not done yet!" And honestly, respect. Because the automotive world is way more fun with a Jaguar that isn't afraid to get loud again. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more, remember to hit that subscribe button if you want. You know, no pressure. And if you want to stalk me on my social media, the link to my Instagram is down below. Hope to see you soon.